Hey everyone, today we're looking at why a man was born blind. As Jesus went along, he saw a man blind from birth. His disciples asked him, "Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind?" Jesus answered, "Neither this man nor his parents sinned. This is a chance for the works of God to be revealed in him. As long as it is day, we must do the works of God who sent me. Night is coming when no one can work, and while I'm in the world, I am the light of the world." After saying this, he spit on the ground, made some mud with saliva, and put it on the man's eyes. "Go," he told him, "wash in the pool of Siloam," which means sent. And so the man went and washed and came back able to see. So there's a lot of bad theology around the concepts of disability and around suffering. For one, that they are necessarily the same thing. And, this week we'll talk more about, what did this blind man actually want? Is he just an object lesson for the seeing blindness metaphor? But today we want to start with questions about cause and effect. Because the first bad, explanation that's given is that suffering is the result of sin. This man is blind because he did something, or maybe his parents did. And I just wondered, what could he have done in the womb that would necessitate this punishment? It's this simplistic black and white cause and effect sort of thinking. And we find it in scripture in places, right? Do bad and bad happens. There is some truth to it. There's natural consequences, but life shows that it's often more complicated. And thankfully, I think Jesus here agrees. Now, the second response to these sort of questions is, well, God causes that misfortune so that God can then fix it. And it's definitely possible to read Jesus' response this way. God made him blind for his whole life up to this point so that I could come along and heal him to show how great God is. Directly causing a problem so that you can later save it to prove how helpful you are, to me that doesn't scream good and loving. Right? If I did that, it wouldn't be good. And so in some way we have to hold God to the same standard, if God is anything like us. Like the disciples, we want a clear answer to why. But my experience teaches that it's best to admit there is no simple solution. We would know it by now if there was. Suffering is a place of mystery. Not to just say, well, don't worry about it, but this is probably a place where all of us are going to be in a lifelong wrestling match with God, working this out. However we end up where we are and the circumstances we're in, how can we find God at work here? I'm not going to say that God causes suffering, but I do know that wherever it comes from, it's a place where God can bring growth. When your heart breaks, that's an opportunity for love to enter in a deeper way. And, it's not something we ask for. I don't pray that any of us experience suffering or loss of ability. But when, not if, when it happens, I pray you experience the work of God in a new light.